Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar, Devyo or Sajjano. Welcome to Amity University, a research
Recording in progress.
driven university. At Amity University, we follow the ideals and values of our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, and with the visionary leadership of Dr. Atul Chauhan sir, who is our honorable chancellor. Today, Amity University is 12 universities in India with more than 12 global campuses and 28 schools and preschools in India. We all envision to follow the dreams of our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, who believes that India will be an education superpower. Aisa kyun na ho. Vishwa Vasudha Ek Kutumb. Welcome to 3-day training workshop for the Indian Forest Service officers on prevention, control and management of invasive species, hosted by Amity School of Natural Resources and Sustainable Development today at Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Noida. Stepping ahead into an education middle in an educative ambiance, let us all seek the blessings of the Almighty before beginning today's proceedings in the august presence of our chief guest, Mr. Bibash Ranjan, IFS, Additional Director General of Forests, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Let's have a round of applause for sir. We have with us our guest of honor, Dr. V.B. Mathur, former Chairman, National Biodiversity Authority and Director, Wildlife Institute of India. Let's have an applause for sir. Together with Mr. J.C. Kala sir, IFS retired, former DGF and Secretary to Government of India, and Honorary Advisor to Amity Institute of Global Warming and Ecological Studies, together with none other than Dr. S.P. Singh sir, Director, Amity School of Natural Resources and Sustainable Development. I'll now request everybody to join us in lighting the ceremonial lamp with the invocation of the Goddess of Learning. Let us all seek the blessings of the Almighty.
हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। तू स्वर की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। तू स्वर की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, तेरी शरण में हमें प्यार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ।
With that, we meditate on the super intellect. Let us all get divine blessings and begin with the event. Ladies and gentlemen, Devi or Sajjano, this is 3-day training workshop for the Indian Forest Service officers on prevention, control and management of invasive species. So before beginning with today's proceedings of the inaugural session, I would request all the officers and faculty members and students present here to all introduce yourselves. Can we hand over a mic, please? Saroji, can we hand over a mic to everybody? Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Vanati, 2012 batch, Karnataka cadre, presently posted as DFO Bidar. Thank you.
Good morning, sirs. I am Manu Bhatt. I am from Karnataka, 2020 batch, but posted in Odisha cadre. I am posted as DFO Jharsuguda.
Good morning, sirs, and to all my colleagues. I am Shiv Shankar from Karnataka, presently posted as Registrar of Karnataka Veterinary University. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I am Dr. Anil Kumar Patel, IFS 2010 batch. Currently, I am posted as CF Endangered Species Project, Lucknow.
Good morning, sirs. Myself, Prakhar Gupta, Forest Service 2018 batch, Uttar Pradesh cadre.
Currently posted as DFO Shahjahanpur.
Good morning, sir. My name is Chanchal Prakasham. I am 2017 batch IFS officer, currently posted as DFO Kamur in Bihar.
Good morning, sirs. I am Vikram Nade. I am from Manipur cadre, 2020 batch IFS.
Good morning, seniors. I am Avdesh Meena. I am of 2020 batch of MP cadre and I am currently posted as ACF South Harda Production. Thank you.
I am Dr. Shoman Shekhar Rai. I am Assistant Professor of AIGRS.
Good morning. I am Dr. Dhanraj K, Assistant Professor, AIGRS.
Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Swati. I'm Assistant Professor in Amity Institute of Geoinformatics and Remote Sensing. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Maya Kumari. I'm Assistant Professor at Amity School of Natural Resources and Sustainable Development.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Varun Narayan Mishra. I am working as an Assistant Professor in Amity Institute of Geoinformatics and Remote Sensing. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Sujit and I'm working as Assistant Professor with Amity Institute of Forestry and Wildlife, and I'm looking conservation genetics and wildlife forensic departments.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Bobby Mukhansam. I'm from Manipur, and I'm working as an assistant professor in the Amity Institute of Forestry and Wildlife. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. Myself, Dr. Randeep. I am an Assistant Director, Amity Institute of Forestry and Wildlife. So I'm looking wildlife and forestry courses in Amity.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Lolita Pradhan, Assistant Professor in Amity School of Natural Resource and Sustainable Development. Thank you.
Morning all, I'm Amita. I'm allotted Madhya Pradesh cadre. I'm from 2020 batch.
Thank you, everyone, for your brief introduction. It is said that genius, in truth, means little more than the faculty of perceiving in an unhabitual way. So, what is that way when we talk about prevention, control, and management of invasive species? That is the topic of 3 days workshop here. So, without any further ado, I'll request Dr. S.P. Singh, Director, Amity School of Natural Resources and Sustainable Development, to present the welcome address and also to set the theme of the training workshop. Dr. S.P. Singh.
Good morning to all. My respected Sir J.C. Kala sir, Vivash Ranjan ji, and Dr. Virud Mathur. I'm grateful to all of you that you have given an opportunity to come and address the participants. So thank you very much to all my guests, the chief guest. At the same time, I welcome all the participants of this training program who has really able to come to attend these programs. This time, we are having less number of participants, maybe because of various reasons, cyclone in the south, assembly election in some of the states, and session is going on in some of the states. But anyway, number doesn't mean anything. And the only thing that whatever number is there, we will try to interact the best possible way. And I need your cooperation in this regard. By the blessing of our highly visionary Dr. Ashok Kumar Chauhan, our founder president, says, continuous guidance by the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor, we are very fortunate to organize the Indian Forest Service many years program since last 20 years. So this is, I think, only a university in the country which imparts training program for only services officers, including IAS also we are doing some courses. So this is all about the thing. Dr. Bandyopadhyay, he will join us slowly, and then he is also ex-director of Indian Institute of Forest Management. Friends, the subject which I was discussing with Dr. Mathur, he saying who has given you advice, such a hot subject, which is very least known among the foresters. We know when we talk about the invasive species, we talk about 4 or 5 species: Lantana, Prosopis, Eupatorium, or that. But for your kind information, during this workshop, you will be able to know there are too many things, and I think it is the biggest threat to biodiversity after fragmentation. I welcome Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, sir. In fact, you're happy to know that on 8th, we are all very busy because we have a convocation programs. And therefore, some of the dignitaries like Dr. Selva Murthy, Honorable Vice Chancellor, could not able to attend this program. Our Honorable Founder President has also desire to interact you on online. And so he will be there in the inaugural session or maybe in the valedictory session because he's very keen to know about the forester. He have a very special heart about the foresters. And can you believe it? When he know that this program is happening, he has asked me many questions. Number one, who are the participants? What is the subject? What do my invasion species? What are these species available? So I have to give a 10-page note to him, and he very replied that I read your entire this thing, and I give you a lot of praise that you have taken such an important part. And then I told Dr. V.P. Mathur, the former National Biodiversity Authority chairman, is also coming. He knows him personally, that you are the person who has selected right person. I'm very happy to that. So he would also like to convey the message. The program already have given to all of you. Now, since there is a mandatory field visit, I think there's no place where I can show you the management of weeds in the country, except we have done in case of PS. कैसे किया हमने? लंटाना है, आग लगा दो, साफ हो जाएगा, and then it will come more profusely. We failed miserably to control lantana, but doesn't mean that there is no mechanism available, but we are not available. I saw one of the photographs from Karnataka that they are preparing elephant, big elephant from lantana. So if we give a proper priority to this area, then certainly we will be able to control and prevent. We cannot root out completely. But once you try to root out this thing, you have to restore. हटा दिया, उसके बाद आपने restore नहीं किया native species से, you are all afford. Because I have a very good experience. I worked almost 10-15 years in the wildlife area, Manas, Kaziranga, and other part, as also in the Ministry of Project Tiger. आप पैसा दीजिए, कहाँ दीजिए? हैबिटेट मैनिपुलेशन में लंटाना कंट्रोल करना है. वो लंटाना कितना कंट्रोल होता तो मिसलेनियस एक्सपेंडिचर में जाता था. We fail miserably because this requires continuous efforts and knowledge and vision. I think this 2-day workshop will give you some kind of insight about this, and will able to you to think about it. This is very, very important topic which is badly neglected. So on 7th, we are going to Asola Bhatti Sanctuary, where certain work has been done by the Eco Task Force, how they could able to restore the native species, rather that, but not the agenda of invasive, but there are something to show you on that day. And there is also a Chief Conservation Forest, Vasvi Tyagi, Gurgama, who is looking after the entire Aravalli range. She has also done a very good job. So I also invited him. I think I need not to explain about the details. So, but the best resource person which is available in the country will address you. Keeping this word, now I keep myself short. Thank you very much, and enjoy this training. In my life, I attended 35 one-week training programs, and I see the best part of my service is the IFS training provisional period and that 1-week training. So take it that way. Relax. Do not feel tense. There is no examination, but I feel that you should interact better. If you interact better next time, you will make me more prepared so that I can give you better. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. S.P. Singh, Director, Amity School of Natural Resources and Sustainable Development, for setting the theme of the training workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, it's said that the exploration is the engine that drives innovation, and innovation drives economic growth. So let us all, through an educative method, try to contribute towards making our country the third biggest economy in the world. Having said so, we have with us Mr. J.C. Kala, IFS retired, former DGF and Secretary to Government of India, and presently working as Honorary Advisor, Amity Institute of Global Warming and Ecological Studies at Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Noida. Please join me in welcoming Mr. J.C. Kala, sir, for a brief address. Mr. J.C. Kala.
Good morning. My colleague, Dr. S.P. Singh, who is the backbone of his institute as well as institutes in the Amity. I've been working along with him actually in the Institute of Global Warming and Ecological Studies. And my other colleague, actually, Dr. Mathur, I think is the authority on many things on the forestry and wildlife. He has achieved a lot actually, and we have to learn from him a lot. In fact, I came here only to listen to him. Dr. Vivas Ranjan, actually, colleague in the ministry, I've known him for quite some time actually. When he was this small, probably EIG, then he rose actually to various ranks. And Dr. Bandyopadhyay is the one actually, he has been mentor to so many people in the Amity. In fact, he has been director of in Institute of Forest Management, a premier organization, and he has taken the institute to great heights. While welcoming you and all my professional participants, just to tell about me, I belong, you are actually, to see you and I get a lot of energy because I belong to the first batch of this service in 1968. And actually the time has gone very fast. I did not know that many people have joined service after my retirement, maybe even much later also. I did not know much about the invasive species, except that I was posted to Nilgiris. It is a wonderful place actually, where I enjoyed my stay in 60s, late 60s. Actually, I enjoyed my stay in Nilgiris. And in Nilgiris, we have the Wenlock Downs. We have got the shoreline, grassland ecology. You must have gone there, I am sure about it. Like Kashmir, actually, we have got a very beautiful landscape. And we have got the wildlife species. More than that, actually, we have got the flora, actually, which is very unique, actually, in that area. You must have learned in the past about the solar grassland ecology. The Wenlock Downs is a downs, actually, where we have got, actually, the Glen Morgan. Glen means deer. Morgan means valley of deers. And you must be knowing about it because the finest whiskey of the world, actually, it is a Glenfiddich single malt and the Glenlivet. They are all named after the place actually where I spent my early part of the service. It is another Scotland, actually, Nilgiris. I am talking about Nilgiris because my experience actually about the invasive species about Nilgiris. And Ooty has got a lot of species which have been brought from outside. We have got the pines, we have got the wattle from South Africa, we have got actually the eucalyptus from Australia, there is blue gum and wattle, they have been brought there. There have been species like trout fish which has been brought. Once upon a time, they used to tell everything exotic actually in this area, Uttakamand and Nilgiris. And now there is a DFO also who is also exotic. Because I come from Badrinath, my allotment to Madras cadre, actually every day of my stay there I enjoyed. So I also happen to be exotic in that area, may not be calling as invasive. I have to prove that I am not invasive there. A lot of work has been done actually to remove these invasive species, especially the gorse, Ulux europaeus, the broom grass. and to say that the original vegetation of Shola grassland is restored in that area. Children from the schools, they joined us actually to approve actually the gourds. In turn, actually, we also wanted to remove the complete wattle to see that original species survive there. All those works have been done. But as Dr. Singh mentioned, that unless you understand the very ecology of all invasive species, it is very difficult to remove them. It comes again and again. I remember there was a workshop, silviculture conference was there in Nilgiri in Dehradun, in which the subject was how to eradicate lantana. Lantana eradication, actually, some work was done by the FRI. Great scientists were there from there. They released an insect actually, but that insect happened to actually damage the other Verbenaceae family plant teak. So they released another one actually to kill it. Anyway, after that there was a conference actually in Dehradun, in which subject was how to eradicate lantana. In a lighter vein, let me tell you, the solution was ask Indian Forest Department to plant lantana. It will vanish automatically. इन लोगों ने जिस चीज पे हाथ लगाया है वो ऐसी भी गायब हो जाती है. I am sure that this current generation will be an exception to this, and I'll be learning a lot actually from Dr. Mathur and others, Dr. Vivas, and my own colleague actually, Dr. Bandyopadhyay, that what does he say about invasive species. But all I can say is that let it be interactive actually. We have to learn from you how you are doing it in this state and what you exactly we have to go about actually in improving the training program of IFS training program. Let me tell you that our founder president is so interested about the IFS. He has got a list of all officers who have been trained here. And probably after some time, he may be even contacting many of you personally to see actually what you can do for Amity and what from Amity we can do for you. I think that with these words, actually, I welcome you once again and wish you a very happy stay. Please tell your difficulties to anybody here. Actually, Dr. Maya is there, and there are other people actually who are looking after this training program, and Dr. S.P. Singh. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. J.C. Kala, sir, IFS retired. Sir has also been a mentor to many of us here at Amity University. Thank you so much, sir, for your address. Ladies and gentlemen, for creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play of instinct arising from the inner necessity. Today we have with us Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, who's chairman, Amity Law School, Noida, and also chief advisor to our founder president's office. I'll now request Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, sir, to present your address.
So I missed the first part of the deliberation. I hope you have been all introduced to each other. So I missed that part. But anyway, I see the list. Once again, on behalf of the entire Amity universe, you know that Amity University, not only in Noida, we have got 12, another 11 universities in the country. And as per the plan goes of our honorable founder president, that we are going to have at least 26 universities across the country. And not only that, we have got universities in Tashkent, we have got the universities in Dubai, Mauritius, Singapore, and USA. USA is a huge university, 187 acres of land, and near New York. And this is what Amity Group is all about. So Amity University is all about. In addition to that, we have got about 15 campuses, international campuses across the globe. So you are here in such type of educational institution, educational group, which has the experiences across the world, across the country. And that's most important thing. And that has been created, nurtured, promoted, developed by the dreams and vision of one man, that is Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan. And I think he deserves a hand of applause from all of you, because we are all really thankful and grateful for his visionary ideas. So after welcoming you on behalf of the Amity Universe, now I welcome you on behalf of the Amity Sustainable Natural Resource Development Department, which Professor S.P. Singh is heading. And he has been not only heading that institution, he is also heading another institution known as Amity Institute of Geoinformatics and Remote Sensing Agencies. Apart from that, he is also the DRC chair of the group, of the department, of the group of departments, of the group of schools. And he has been taking lots of initiative in different directions. One of the initiative is a training program that he actually conducts very regularly and very successfully, very effectively. So thank you very much, Professor Singh, for again conducting such type of one program. Now, we are also thankful on behalf of the entire Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, to Mathur Sahab. Mathur Sahab, we met, I think, couple of times, and you made a mark. I could not forget those small meetings. And certainly, Vivas Ranjanji, I think this is the second time we are meeting, if I'm not mistaken. Third time we are meeting, I am not mistaken. Sorry. Then, of course, वो कहते तारीफ करूं किसको जिसने तुमने बनाया. And ये जो gentleman Jesse Kala, मेरा boss था. He was very polite. He was not acknowledging that, but I like to acknowledge. He was the first IFS officer who was a secretary. He rose to the rank of the secretary, and it's a really matter of pride for all of you. He was telling that जहाँ IFS officer हाथ लगाते हैं वो नष्ट हो जाता है, but वहाँ वो भी हाथ लगाया था, and he became the secretary. And that's something to be actually good. And when I was the director of Institute of Forest Management, the type of support, encouragement, and whichever ideas with whom I was going, and he used to appreciate it, he used to promote it, he used to support me. And that's what Jesse Kalaji is. Although Bhopal and Delhi used to be overnight journey, but he made me to travel very frequently and to meet him. And that's how we could see that Institute of Forest Management became top 8 management institution in the country, among all the management institutions of the country in 2016. And that's the contribution that collectively all of us made it. Now, in between there was something, but now again it is rising up, and hopefully again it will come back to its original position. It is all due to my colleague who came on deputation basis from forest departments. I must acknowledge their contributions. And why I'm telling it? Because that's a teaching cum research institutions. Lots of researches are going on. Environmental impact assessments is one of the important research. Another important research going on is in terms of natural resource accounting. This invasive species or alien species, because to me, the alien species is much more dangerous than the invasive species. Because alien species has got the reproductive systems and they go on generating the cycles, and it becomes very difficult to eradicate. Whereas, if you are planting, say, eucalyptus, you are planting, then I consider them as invasive species. Because wherever the eucalyptus has been planted, it has taken away all the water resources from the nearby area. It does not allow any other species to grow. And we all planningly help them to invade. Planningly. And there are lots of controversies came up. And now actually people are understanding the environment impact that has created. Because we all know that invasive and the alien species has got different types of impacts. Economic impact, and the type of viruses it generates creates health hazards, health impact, and most importantly, biodiversity impact, and third is more, and fourth is most important activities in terms of their impact is great health hazards. Now, question is coming that what do you do? What do you do? Because invasive species is okay. So the PL40 resulting to the creation of lantana. Because and Congress grass. This is the contribution PL40 gave us because along with wheat, those seeds came. Now it has become very difficult to eradicate. So what could be our strategy in terms of preventing the alien species or the invasive species? And that's some innovative ideas needs to be actually sensitized. We should be sensitive enough. And I think this training program is the purpose of doing that. What are the different management practices can be followed? If not eliminate, but at least to reduce to greater extent. The lantana, the people said they found it's very difficult to eradicate, then how they started doing it? Why not? There's a proverb. They say that, आप लोगों को पता होगा, वो proverb कहते हैं, जब कोई alternative नहीं है, जो दुख को भी सुख समझ के चलना चाहिए. Why there is no other alternative. दुख है तो सुख है. एक बार मैंने रायबरेली में गया था, कुछ जो सोडिक लैंड रिक्लेमेशन प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा था, उसमें वर्ल्ड बैंक का प्रोजेक्ट था. I was the consultant there. And when we are looking at them and we are trying to understand the impact, whether after the reclamation of the Sodic land, whether the economic condition of the local people has increased or not. तो वहां दो तीन चीज हम लोगों ने जो देखा था, वो पिताजी का टीबी होकर मर गया, बच्चों का टीबी हो गया, उसका बच्चा को भी टीबी हो गया. तो हम लोग ने कहा भाई मेडिकल शॉप में क्यों नहीं जा रहा है, गवर्नमेंट तो बड़ा प्रोपेगेट करते हैं फ्री मेडिसिन. बोले सर वो आप जाके देखिए ना, प्रेस्क्रिप्शन लिख देते हैं, बोलते दवाई खरीद लो बाहर. That means the remedy, what we are thinking is not the right type of remedy. Second person, sir, how much land you have got, sir? Only 1 bigha of land. Do you manage to have the foods throughout the year? But no, sir. I also work as a daily wage worker to some of the landlords. I say, okay, then there is a lean period. What do you do in the lean period? बोले सर ऐसे भी कभी कभी दिन हो जाते हैं जहां खाना नहीं मिलते हैं, एक टाइम का खाना खा लेते हैं, रात का टाइम भगवान को बोलते हैं, भगवान एक लोटा पानी ले लेते हैं, भगवान को कहते हैं भगवान आज तू मेरा नसीब में खाना नहीं लिख के दिया था. तो मतलब दुख के भी वो सुख ढूंढते हैं. तो ये लैंटेना को हटाने के लिए क्या सुख ढूंढ रहे हैं? बोले भाई उसको यूज करो, किस तरीके से वो ये बनाया जाए, बास्केट बनाया जाए. यूज a lantana, how to make it habitat. They say that tiger have started living under the beneath the lantana. They say that different types of birds have also started taking shelter under the shelter of the lantana. So दुख में भी सुख हम लोग ढूंढना पड़ेगा, उसको इकोनॉमिक और एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट हम लोग को बताना पड़ेगा. Otherwise, it's very dangerous. से सिंह साहब कितना दिन से प्रयास कर रहे हैं, हमारा ये को पेड़ है क्या साहब, उसको बोटानिकल क्या नाम है जो बड़ा खुशबू देते हैं, एस्टोनिया. इतना खुशबू है, अभी खुशबू देते हैं. आप शाम को टाइम टहलेंगे ना, तो we are all against that Estonia because it has a heavy amount of health hazards. The pollens are very dangerous, devil tree. And then we have as Kala Saab's statement, exotic. It looks very nice, but it's so dangerous. And we have allowed them to be invaded. We have planted them like incubators. Easy to grow, fast grow. Without understanding what is going to be the future implications, like eucalyptus. So these are the things that we must get ourselves sensitized and what could be the best alternative to justify. In case there is no other alternative, तो दुख में सुख कैसे ढूंढे. उसको कैसे इस्तेमाल करे फॉर द इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट. कम से कम एक तो बेनिफिट होगा. हेल्थ हैजर्ड से एक है, दूसरा प्लांट को ग्रो नहीं करने देते हैं, वो अपना आपको पैदावार बढ़ाते जाते रहते हैं. रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम इतना स्ट्रांग है, एलियन स्पीसीज का बढ़ाते जाते रहते हैं. तो व्हाट कुड बी अदर वे ऑफ यूटिलाइजिंग देम? If not, we are able to eradicate. And the utility for the purpose of the forest dwellers, utility for the purpose of our own existence, because we are also being going to question, because you are the gatekeeper of the forest. You are the custodian of the forest as an IFS officer. How come ecosystems or biodiversity is getting so much hampered? Questions will be coming to us. We have to find answer. It may not be 100% rational or logical, but we have to give either some economic benefit or some eradication plan or something new alternative way of taking care of them. We have to do that, and there are management practices are there. Other countries have tried to do it. America has tried to do something, because the loss of the American economy was to the tune of billion due to this invasive and alien species. So I think with these words, I think I can go on speaking like this, because we had lots of interest. We did work something on Assam area, on Lantana, but of no use. Honestly speaking, no use. Then we tried to understand it. Can it not be दुख में सुख कैसे ढूंढ पाए? वो वाला concept जो है हम लोगों ने चालू किया था. But that is not the solution. We have to find a better solutions. So I welcome you all once again. Wish you a happy stay here. Make Professor Singh's life miserable. In the sense of quenching your academic thirst. The persons will be coming to talk to you, to interact with you. Ask questions to him to quench your thirst. Then and then after, say, 5 days when you go back, other than interacting with each other, that's a great benefit. That's one of the purpose of the training program, that you come, meet each other, share your experiences with each other, creating your own network physically. You may be knowing each other by, through names and so on and so forth, but physically meeting them, those who are coming from different places, has its own benefit. So that collectively the best practices you can share among yourself. That's greatest benefit of the training program. But more also, when the people with experiences comes and they talk about these topics, please ask questions, make it dialogue-based sessions. That's again, or interactive-based session. So that will be the great benefit of all of you. So I wish you good luck. I wish you all the best. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, Chairman, Amity Law School and Chief Advisor, the Office of Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, sir. Well said, everybody. Why not swipe the best and then get adapted to it? Perhaps with that we can control and manage the invasive species. Having said so, it's time to listen to the keynote address by our guest of honor, Dr. V.B. Mathur. Dr. V.B. Mathur joined the Indian Forest Service in the year 1983. After serving for 33 years at the prestigious Wildlife Institute of India, including being the Dean in the year 2005 to 14, and subsequently as the Director from 2014 to 19, Dr. V.B. Mathur worked as the Chairperson of the National Biodiversity Authority from 2019 to 2022. Dr. Mathur obtained his doctorate from the University of Oxford, UK in 1991. He has been the Regional Vice Chair of the IUCN World Commission on Protected Areas, WCPA South Asia, from 2011 to 2021. Dr. Mathur has been actively contributing on biodiversity research policy interface issues and has been the Regional Vice Chair, Asia Pacific region of the United Nations Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services Multidisciplinary Expert Panel. He has been the UN IPBES Bureau member from 2019 to 2023 and also as the UN CBD Bureau member from 2019 to 2022. Sir has also worked as for the Asian Development Bank International Biodiversity Specialist, and as IUCN Strategic Advisor for the Asia Pacific region. Please welcome Dr. V.B. Mathur, former Chairman, National Biodiversity Authority and Director, Wildlife Institute of India, for the keynote address.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Shri J.C. Kalaji, the former DGF and Secretary to Government of India, Honorary Advisor, MET, Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, the Chief Advisor and Chairman, MET Law School, my colleague Vibhash Ranjanji in the Ministry, and Dr. S.P. Singh, a batchmate of mine, and currently the Director and the person who has brought everybody in this room. And of course, the colleagues and participants from the Indian Forest Service and the MET faculty, some of who are my former students as well. No. I would say that it's indeed a privilege for me to come to MET after a long gap physically. All these years because of the pandemic, and I was in Chennai, I was coming to these courses, but virtually. But this is one opportunity which has come, and I wanted to make the best use of it. But before I speak further, I must compliment the organizers of MET for picking up this course. And as I would explain in a while from now, in this keynote, and I have a 2-hour session, Kalaji, just after that, where the meat of my talk will come over there. But this topic is very important both internationally and nationally. We have heard about invasive alien species. I would be doing my bit to explain what are alien species, what are invasive alien species, what is the difference, and how we need to deal with them. But it is a fact that these species are a global risk. In what manner, how they operate, what are the triggers, we need to consider them, and I would be talking about that. You're also aware that it was only 3 months back, in September 2023, the big intergovernmental platform on biodiversity and ecosystem services called IFS, that report on invasive alien species came out. As was explained, I was part of the IFS system, and I was on the management committee of that work, which went on for 3 years, and more than 100 scientists, top-notch scientists, they were contributing to it. So now the challenge is that the report is out, the scientific facts are before us, all countries are getting affected, but what we need to do. And that was my first question to SP, that you are picking up this course, it is so early, and I have no hesitation in saying that MET might be the only entity in the world which has picked up so fast on that. And the presence of my colleagues in the Indian Forest Service, you have a long career ahead. We definitely have our own views on invasives and weeds and so on and so forth. And we have tried in my own professional days ways and means to contain them, to control them, what has worked, what has not worked. But we now need to look at very objectively, very passionately, in a very scientific manner to deal with that. This report that I'm referring to, and I would be sharing the link which you can download. A lot of literature has already been given to you in this compendium, but a lot more also exists outside that. So what this report does, this report provides evidence. As you must be listening in the climate change debate, not now, but early, people had their own belief or disbelief. Whether you believe climate change is occurring or not occurring, this was the debate a few years back. Now, of course, that is settled. But in case of invasives, we need the evidence. Where is the evidence? See, in science, in conservation, in wildlife, forestry, and biodiversity, what we need is an evidence, a concrete evidence, and that is what this report gives. Now, giving evidence is one thing. We need tools, we need options. And when I'm saying tools and options, these are the options for government. And that is where I'm so pleased that Vivash is here from the ministry. Many things have to be taken up by the governments. Science will do its own role, but science and policy interface becomes important. And that is where the intervention from ministries become very important. Our own ministry, Ministry of Agriculture, we also now have Ministry of Fisheries. As you would see, the aquatic invasives, the coastal invasives, and the marine invasives, they are playing havoc to our coastlines and aquatic bodies on that. So this report says very clearly that invasives are a global threat to nature, threat to economies, threat to food security, and threat to human health. See, when you include fir bacha kya hai? These are the four things which affect you and me. If our economies get affected, we are under pressure. If our health gets affected, we are under pressure. And if food security is on decline, then all of us are affected. And very interestingly, everybody wants to know what is the cost of dealing with that. And in this report, scientists have also worked out that it may be a little guess estimate, it may be not a very precise figure, but the figure is 423 billion US dollar is what the world would require to deal with invasives. And they have done their calculations. Every 4 years, the amount becomes double. So you see the threat. In government, we say business as usual. If we remain business as usual, then this cost, which is already 423 billion US dollar, is going to increase. So this is what this issue is important. And this thing was also mentioned that people want to know that what are the threats to biodiversity. What our scientific colleagues have done, there are numerous threats, no doubt on that. But there are 5, which are the top 5. As we go to Africa, we want to see the big 5. There are the top 5 as far as biodiversity is concerned. I'm not saying in any order, but changes in land and sea use, the kind of changes that we are occurring, the kind of urbanization which is taking place either in Gurgaon or in Bangalore, this is what is a cause of worry to that. We are also doing direct exploitation of species, whether there are plant or animal. If you look at the crime control figures, tremendous amount of species are being harvested on that. And then climate and pollution. So these are the 4. And the 5th one is the invasive alien species. So see, not that it is something to be proud of, but it only shows that the significance of the topic. That today, if the world is interested in conservation of biological diversity, then we need to tackle all 5. And as you would see, why this tackling is difficult, because when we talk of climate, biodiversity kicks in. When we talk of biodiversity, climate kicks in. Invasive species is all pervasive. So the solutions are not easy to find. And therefore, we need opportunities like this to discuss, to come together. And then in this review, what they did, they looked at the problem of invasive is not new. It has been there since time immemorial. But what have the countries done? Have we enacted legislation? Do we have legal instruments? And this study is saying that more than 80% of the countries do not have any legal mechanism to deal with that. So you can understand that on one hand, we say it is part of the top 5, and then we don't have mechanisms to deal with that. Countries are now increasingly started talking about invasives. If you recall the Aichi targets, if you recall India's 12 national biodiversity targets which the ministry made, there is a topic, there is a goal on invasive species. So things are changing, but the rate of change is too slow for comfort. And that is where these opportunities of you and us interacting directly becomes important. And then the same report I'm going to repeat again and again, 45% of the country do not invest anything in the management. If you don't invest anything in the management, how the world's problem or national problem is going to get solved? And therefore, one very interesting thing happened. Many of you would be following. last December, a year ago, in Montreal, the new framework, the Global Biodiversity Framework, was agreed upon by 195 countries, India included. This framework is the new framework for conserving biological diversity. If you go to Google and just type GBF, you will get that document. It is very, very important because it now talks of the goals. It talks about 23 targets, and there is a target to deal with invasive species. And that is where it says that by 2030, in another 6 to 7 or 8 years' time, the world should be working to reduce the menace of invasive alien species by 50%. But mind you, this is not easy. So countries are taking steps, and Vivash Ranjanji will agree that what countries have been asked, every country has its national biodiversity strategy and action plan. India also has it, we made a few years back. But in the light of this new development, in the light of this new framework coming, we need to align our national policy and strategies with that of the global one. And therefore, I take this as an opportunity that how this thing will happen when people like you become sensitive that invasives are important. It must figure in our national goals. It must figure in our state goals. It must go down to the bottom when we will be preparing our people's biodiversity register. See, that is the instrument. That is the instrument for change. Things are not just going to change if the ministry takes a step here. Things are going to change when at the grassroots level, we start documenting it. First thing is documentation, that we must be able to document as we document our plant species. We should be able to label that whether they are native, whether they are alien, whether they are invasive, and what kind of negative impacts they are having. Now, let me also share in a few minutes that what is the situation in India. Everybody wants to know, is that global, this is happening, but what is in India? So in Indian science, our scientists have been able to work together, and they have been able to define that there are about 1,800 alien species in the country. Okay. And there are 120 alien fishes. So these are, the numbers may not be too high, but every water body, every pond, every village stream will have these alien species which are affecting the natural biodiversity. So what the scientists have done, they have identified 21 species of high concern for India. And I will name the first 5, and I can see from your faces that those names will register. So we talk of Prosopis juliflora. Those who are from Rajasthan, arid part, they know what the menace of Prosopis juliflora is. Those who are from northeast and south knows what is Mycania. Then we talk of Parthenium, SP was mentioning the name of Congress grass. Then we talk of Mimosa. If you go to Kaziranga, you will find, and no way you can control it, because along with the Brahmaputra water, the Mimosa seeds also come. So it becomes very difficult. And lastly, and most prominently, is the Lantana camara. So these are 5 to 6 species. India has said that these are the universe of 21. And Vivash would recall that at some time back, India made a list of species which need immediate intervention. So there are the 21 endangered species of mammals, of which we are now working on endangered species recovery plan. So see, all these things we have to see in totality. The inventory part, the documentation part, and then the action part. Action will come only when your documentation is good. And I want to share another good news, that our ministry, the National Tiger Conservation Authority, and the Wildlife Institute of India, they work together, or they have been working together for the last 20 years. And you are aware that there is a process called All India Tiger and Prey Population Estimation. While India and the world focuses on that, what WI did, as we were doing the assessment, as we were doing the mapping, during the process, our scientists also collected information on native and non-native plant species. So see, this is one of the biggest, I would say, findings that I will share. So since 2006, there are as many as 120,000 plots spread over all the 17 tiger range states, where an inventory of native and non-native plants is there. And if you total them up, about 250,000 square kilometers of an area, and we now have data for the last 16 years. So data is power, information is power. So today our ministry, NTCA and WI has this information that what is happening to plant species, plant invasives. There is a very fine digital database available, which will help us to take decisions. See, all these things are required when you want to take decisions on that. But let me tell you the little worrying part. 2/3 of India, 66% to be very precise, is under some form of invasive species of plant origin. So this is a huge figure. When we talk of nature, when we talk of naturalness, when we talk of wilderness, these are there. And these 11 species of plants are appearing in these 2/3 of the area. We need to do that. And interestingly, as you start looking into it, the question comes, why is it happening? What is the trigger? See, the trigger is also coming from our friends in the agriculture department. Lots of hybridization is taking place. Lots of phenotypic and genetic variations are taking place. While some of them are good for agriculture, they are disaster for forestry. They are disaster for invasive species. So that is where we need to look at. And that is where coherence and convergence becomes very important. If each ministry does its own without bothering what the other is doing, then we will never be able to solve this kind of a problem. So what are the steps? People then ask that, okay, sir, karna kya hai? We need to do many things, but broadly, 4 things become very important. We need to conduct ecological assessments. Because WI and NTCA study is fine, but we need to step it up. We need to make it more comprehensive. And which are the target systems? We need to look at freshwater ecosystems. We need to look at marine ecosystems. We need to look at coastal ecosystems. See, what science is telling, invasives are difficult in both terrestrial and coastal and marine, but coastal and marine is most difficult to regulate. Those who are from coastal state, they know how the dynamics operates over there. So we need to conduct that. We are now talking of restoration. You are also aware that we are in the process of UN Decade for Ecological Restoration from 2022 to 2030. Now this restoration means what? You first need to get rid. You need to control the invasive species. So any restoration program which our ministry is looking at, this one should become an integral part. You can't restore a degraded area because degradation is being amplified through this invasive species on that. Then of course we need technical manpower, we need financial manpower, so invasion monitoring and management is to become an integral part. And as Vivash will look at our management plans, that is where it should find a place, that there should be a section, there should be a kind of a place or a placeholder where regularly when we are talking of forest working plans or wildlife management plans or the People's Biodiversity Register, that is where it needs to look at. And finally comes the action at the ministry level. We need to look at policies, we need to guidelines, we need, the modern buzzword is SOPs, the standard operating protocols. So every officer like you and at your level must know that these are the 5 things I need to do so that you can take timely actions on that. So finally, I would say invasive species are a global concern because they affect the economy, they affect the ecology, they affect the livelihoods, they affect every walk of life that we. Scientific assessments in India have helped us to come up with this 21 list. There is also a very disturbing figure. Scientists have calculated that there are about 700 square kilometer area every year where the invasive species make entry into it. So you can imagine that these are some figures which we need to worry. Yeah, I'll just finish. So finally, without being pessimistic, I would say today is a trend for accelerating global economy. We are already talking India becoming 24 trillion economy. We are talking of intensive land use. We are talking of demographic changes. These are the things which go against our effort to do that. But let us not be pessimistic. We need to move ahead. We need to cautiously move ahead. And that is why finally I want to compliment MET once again that this small beginning that we are making in these 3 days will help sensitize many of us to take actions on that. So as I said, I would be coming back again with a larger dose of how to deal with this issue of invasives with some very interesting infographics. So thank you once again for providing this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for those beautiful words. And I think with these words, we also develop in us so much of infinite capacity. And as our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, sir, says that together we can change the world. But we need to develop that capacity and reach at a place where you want to bring that change. As Mahatma Gandhi says, be the change that you really want to see. Having said so, ladies and gentlemen, amity is as good as you make it. And wherever you go, your name with amity will remain forever. Having said so, it's time to listen to our chief guest, none other than Mr. Bibash Ranjan. Shri Bibash Ranjan ji is an IFS officer of 1989 batch from UP cadre. Sir has served on important positions in UP Forest Department and in the Government of India and has held positions in various governmental and international committees in the area of forestry. Sir has vast experience in the field-based forestry and social forestry. Sir has worked as Deputy Director General, Central, in the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and presently working as Additional Director General of Forest, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, New Delhi. Please welcome our chief guest for the day, Mr. Bibash Ranjan, sir, with a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Kala Sahab, Upadhyay ji, Mathur Sahab, Singh Sahab, my colleagues, faculties. Upadhyay Sahab rightly mentioned in the beginning that this is the second time. This is my third time to be here. Bandhopadhyay Sahab. And let me inform him that again the Indian Institute of Forest Management, as of now, is ranking 15th in the country in terms of the postgraduate management courses. It's a big applause for the Indian Institute of Forest Management, where we have gone to the level of 68. From 68 to 15th is a very big haul, very big jump. We'll come in number 8 soon. Yeah. Number 2, they have a new campus now at Kurseong. That campus will be dedicated for the external students. Means the country situated along the neighbors of the India will be getting trained there as a BIMSTEC countries courses. So let us begin on the topic. I think the tone has already been set up by Dr. Mathur. But few more updates are required. And what we think, what ministry think, what ministry have done, what is expected from the states and the field officers, how it should be done. There are scientific reports, journals in place on invasive alien species. The first informations I would like to share that for the first time, the invasive alien species have been defined under the Wildlife Protection Act, which was amended on the last year, 2022. Under section 216, it says, the invasive alien species as a species of animals or plants, which is not native to India, and whose introduction or spread may threaten or adversely impact wildlife or its habitat. So now we have a legal protocol with us to support its management, to support its control its expansions, and we are legally bound on this. Number two, there are two novel modifications have been done in the National Working Plan Code as well as the management plan templates for the wildlife protected areas, where the invasive alien species management have been highlighted, meaning thereby that any working plan which will be formulated during this time and subsequently will have mandatorily the action plan on the invasive alien species eradications in terms of reserve forest area, in terms of protected areas. So the framework is in place. Now the question comes, how the framework will be implemented. I am happy to see that the IFS officers who are present here, almost all are in the rank of DFO, DCFs, and I think Anil is conservator. You are the right person, right place to get your dreams implemented, that how these invasive alien species needs to be eradicated. Every state has a specific prescriptions. Lantana, which is being eradicated in Himachal, may not be replicated the same practice in Chhattisgarh. Probably the use in Karnataka will be quite different. So the practices being adopted by the states as a whole needs to be seen in totality. The latest report, what Dr. Mathur was mentioning, we are talking about the plants and few major faunal species. We are not talking about the microbes. We are not talking about the invertebrates. We are not talking about the vertebrates. How much they have invaded? क्योंकि हम उसको पहचानते नहीं हैं, माइक्रोब्स को हम पहचानते नहीं हैं, इन्वर्टिब्रेट्स को हम पहचानते नहीं हैं. And I fully endorse the view of Dr. Mathur once again that primarily in each of the area or each of the division where you are, the first thing should be that scientific assessment of the invasive alien species must be done. So that once you know the details, then only you will be able to control it. I think one threat is missing while it was being deliberated, that what is the ecological threat? What is the ecosystems threat? What is the biodiversity threats of the invasive alien species? Why these threats, though we are trying to counter and control the invasive alien species, but in due course of time, the expansions is uncontrollable. हम उसके expansions को आज तक रोक नहीं पाए हैं, तब जबकि हम इसके बारे में काफी अच्छी तरह जानते हैं, हमारे पास practices हैं, फिर भी नहीं हो पाता. Last week, sir, I had been at Periyar, and I could visit the entire solar region. There are two categories of invasions. One is invasion from the native species. The entire closely related solas were invaded by the native terminalias. And the farthest sola was invaded by lantana. So aerial dispersal of the seeds, to whom we do not have any control, how can we stop it? This is a challenge. For the first time, the Chhattisgarh has submitted a proposal in regards to eradications of lantana to the tune of 500 crores. But whether these proposals or these management tools would be successful. It is a question of, again, practices. So my first concern with the states is to assess the exotics or invasive species. And almost all the invasive alien species are detrimental to the local ecosystems as such. हम जंगल में जाते हैं, देखते हैं पूरा फैला हुआ है लैंटाना. हमने कभी ये महसूस नहीं किया कि अगर साल फॉरेस्ट में लैंटाना फैला हुआ है तो उसका हर्ब और श्रब पर क्या इम्पैक्ट, क्योंकि हम उसको डिटेल में नहीं जानते. वहां की इकोलॉजी में क्या इम्पैक्ट है, वहां के हाइड्रोलॉजी में क्या इम्पैक्ट है, वहां के फंगल पॉपुलेशन में क्या इम्पैक्ट है, वहां के टर्माइट पॉपुलेशन में क्या इम्पैक्ट है. आप गौर करेंगे, आप लोग सभी अभी फील्ड फॉरेस्टर्स हैं, जहां लैंटाना है वहां टर्माइट माउंट्स नहीं है. दिस इज अ सिग्निफिकेंट ऑब्जर्वेशंस. अगर नहीं है टर्माइट्स, इसका इम्पैक्ट केवल फाउनल पॉपुलेशंस पे नहीं है, फ्लोरल पर भी है. इसका मतलब है कि हमारे लिए, हमारी इकोलॉजी के लिए, हमारे बायोडाइवर्सिटी के लिए पहले चीज असेसमेंट बहुत मैंडेटरी है. और असेसमेंट मोटे मोटे तौर पर भी करेंगे तो तब भी चलेगा. एक स्पीसीज डॉक्टर माथुर ने नाम लेना भूल गया लगता है, वाटर हाइसिंथ. दिस इज द मोस्ट वाइड स्प्रेड इन्वेजिव एलियन स्पीसीज इन आवर कंट्री. आप आज एक तालाब को साफ करते हैं, हम तो एक्वाटिक्स की बात ही नहीं करते हुए, हम केवल टेरेस्ट्रियल इकोलॉजी की बात करते हैं. हमको लैंटाना सबसे पहले दिखता है, सब्सिक्वेंट स्पीसीज नहीं देखता है. बट इन स्पीसीज के बदले, जैसे प्रोसोपिस आपने नाम लिया, प्रोसोपिस कहीं बेनिफिशियल है, कहीं बेनिफिशियल नहीं है. इसका मतलब है कि इन्वेजन हमने जब कराया तो इसको दो ढंग से कराया. एक इंटेंशनल इन्वेजन था, एज ए टूल, एज ए साइंटिफिक टूल इन द मैनेजमेंट प्रैक्टिसेस. एग्जाम्पल इज प्रोसोपिस. इट वाज साइंटिफिकली इंट्रोड्यूस्ड by our scientists to reduce the area of the sodic soils. वो इन्वेड अभी नहीं किया है, उसको आप रोक सकते हैं, बट उसको रोकने का प्रेस्क्रिप्शंस हम इंप्लीमेंट नहीं करते. नंबर 2, PL40 की बात कही, लैंटाना की बात कही. लैंटाना इज इंटेंशनल नहीं, बाय मिस्टेक इट हैज इन्वेडेड. कांग्रेस ग्रास बाय मिस्टेक इट हैज इन्वेडेड. बट जेनोटिपिकली मॉडिफाइड क्रॉप्स जब हम लेते हैं तो उसका इम्पैक्ट हमको पता नहीं होता है. आपने बहुत सुना होगा बीटी ब्रिंजल का नाम. हम अभी तक नहीं असेस कर पाए हैं कि बीटी ब्रिंजल को प्रोपगेट करने के बाद वो किस शेप में हमारी इकोलॉजी को डिस्टर्ब करेगा. और इसीलिए बीटी ब्रिंजल का वो अपोज कर रहे हैं. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है. ये केवल हम टेरेस्ट्रियल की बात करते हैं, अभी हम एक्वाटिक्स की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं कि कितने कैटफिश आ गए हमारे यहाँ, कितनी हमारी जो नेटिव पॉपुलेशन थी, अच्छी क्वालिटी की फिश थी, वो सब खत्म हो गई. यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड टू नोट दैट फ्रॉम हावड़ा टू पटना देयर वाज अ फ्लो ऑफ फिशेस ऑफ हिल्सा. बीच में गायब हो गए हिल्सा. हिल्सा इज द वन ऑफ द फिश जो मोस्ट टेस्टियस एंड कॉस्टलीस्ट फिश हुआ करता है. और बीच में लास्ट 10 इयर्स में वो पूरी की पूरी पॉपुलेशन खत्म हो गई, क्योंकि लोगों ने पटना में उसको देखना बंद कर दिया, डाउनवर्ड्स में भागलपुर में देखना बंद कर दिया, साहबगंज में देखना बंद कर दिया. पूरे स्ट्रीम में नहीं दिखाई पड़ता था फिशरमैन को. देन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशंस मेड बाय द फिशरमैन कम्युनिटी, इट केम टू अ नॉलेज कि अब ये पॉपुलेशन फिश की हमारे गंगा में नहीं है. हाउ इट कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड? तो पता चला कि हुबली बराज के पास जो एरिया है, बराज के पास, वहां एक एक्सोटिक फिश ने अपना हैबिटेट बना लिया है. तो जो भी माइग्रेट करते थे उसको वहीं ट्रैप कर लेता था और वो खा लेते. किसी ने देखा नहीं कि कहाँ क्यों जा रहा है, बट इसको देखने, पकड़ने और कंट्रोल करने में 12 या 18 साल लग गए. नाउ दैट हिल्सा पॉपुलेशन इज बीइंग रीएस्टैब्लिश्ड. तो मैं तो एक्वाटिक्स की बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि एक्वाटिक्स में हमें क्या दिक्कतें हो रही हैं. एरियल की बात छोड़ दीजिए भैया. But yes, this is a concern, and concern is an alarming one to all the forest managers, because it is impacting in a very bad way. None of the forests in our country is lantana infested. कोई नहीं है. जहां हम कभी नहीं सोचते थे वो लैंटाना इन्फेस्टेड है, और इसके कोई रेडीमेड सॉल्यूशंस नहीं है. माइंड इट, इसके लोकल सॉल्यूशंस हैं. तो मेरा आप सबसे अनुरोध होगा, wherever you go, wherever you work, you have a set out prescriptions in the management plan as well as the working plan of that area. You try to find out the best practices and jot it down, because your practices may be applicable to other areas. Eradications of any invasive alien species is humanly impossible. Is impossible. So prevention is the only solutions. And once we are able to prevent the at least few important non-native species, we'll be able to restore our own dignity. And you rightly pointed out, sir, there are 22 species, faunal species, where we have thought they have become endangered. So its restoration should be on a top priority. And it is amazing for us. Yes, few have been restored, but we are still not able to get the proposal of all 22 species. It means few might have extinct. So question again comes, how we could address this important, very, very important issues. Yes, ministry is planning, rather it has already constituted a group to make an action plan on prevention and eradications of the invasive alien species, because legally now we are qualified ourselves to become the national issue on eradication and control. So soon in next year, we'll be able to come out with a new policy guidelines that how these species, based on the geographic conditions, could be eradicated. Number one. Number two, we have kept a segment in this whole Campa fund that how the alien species can be eradicated, whether the states can be funded on this or not. So many states are coming forward to take up financial resources for this cause. Thirdly, the global biodiversity framework and its target has been mapped along with the prescriptions of the management plan, as we have mapped in the G20 workshops. So the targets of the global biodiversity framework and the efforts made by the state forest department, how these could be roped in and how these could be find out in an achievement part, have been shared in the United Nations Forum on Forest. And India is guiding to the world in this respect, that how mapping and achievement could be synchronized. And fourthly and lastly, it is holistically our concerns to guide the states in regards to further expansions of the invasive species, whether native or non-native. Because even native species has created an ecosystem imbalance. And we have seen many examples in the hills, plains, and so the Nilgiris. So there are many fronts where the ministry is working to formulate the policies, to guide the states, to achieve the global and the national targets, to strengthen the states in funding, And yes, this is the topic what Amity has chosen. It has a long future, and I believe that it needs more deliberations, and I think your outcome will support us to shape up our SOPs, whether the states are ready to accept the challenges now. It's a big question. The states are not ready to even understand the veracity of the problems. So state has to come out with the proposals. और मुझे स्टेट से ये कहना होगा, कहना चाहता हूं, मैनेजमेंट प्रैक्टिसेस में नंबर्स बढ़ जाना आसान है, बट उसके इम्पैक्ट्स को रिड्यूस करना, प्रिवेंट करना, कंट्रोल करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो जो भी जिस स्टेट कैडर के आप में हैं, आप उन स्टेट कैडर में इन स्पीसीज के इम्पैक्ट को जरूर आप असेस करें, और जब तक आप इम्पैक्ट को नहीं बताएंगे तब तक उसका मैनेजमेंट नहीं कर पाएंगे. विद दिस वर्ड आई थैंक यू सिंसियरली. अब किया है, अब हम लोगों ने डाला है उसको एकेडमी के ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम में डाला है, कैस्पस में डाला है, ये सारे. और अभी हम लोग जितने भी प्रपोजल्स चाहे एफसी एक्ट में करते हैं या वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में स्टैंडिंग कमेटी के द्वारा करते हैं, we impose a conditions up till 10 square kilometer from the project site on either side, there will be a full and complete control of the invasive alien species in that area. So we are trying to put forth the issues with the proposers, because normally क्या होता है, जब भी कोई प्रोजेक्ट आप लॉन्च करते हैं कहीं, प्रोजेक्ट के इम्प्लीमेंटेशन से ही कई बार इन्वेजिव एलियन स्पीसीज का एक्सपेंशन हो जाता है, जो कि बाद में दिखता है. पार्थेनियम उसका एग्जाम्पल है, लेंटाना तो उसका दूसरा एग्जाम्पल है, फिशेस उसके तीसरे एग्जाम्पल हैं. तो सारे चीजें प्रोजेक्ट इम्प्लीमेंट करने के कारण हम लोगों के यहाँ फैला है. इसलिए उन पर भी एक कंडीशन आजकल लगाई जा रही है कि अगर ऐसा होता है तो 10 किलोमीटर्स में कोई भी एक्सपेंशन ना हो. विद दिस वर्ड I thank you once again, Dr. Singh, for giving me the opportunity, and I hope that some fruitful outcome will come out from this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bivash Ranjanji, IFS, our chief guest for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, now that the theme and the tone of the inaugural session is set, the purpose and the objectives of the training workshop is what we foresee. For Amity is as good as you make it, and wherever you go, your name with Amity will remain forever. It's time now to felicitate our dignitaries of the dais and to do the honors. I'll request Ms. Vanati from Karnataka cadre to present a Tulsi sapling to our chief guest, Mr. Bivash Ranjan, IFS, Additional Director General of Forest, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. I'll request Mr. Prakhar Gupta from Uttar Pradesh cadre to present a shawl to our chief guest, Shri Bivash Ranjanji, IFS. Thank you so much, Bivash Ranjan sir, for gracing the occasion, and Mr. Gupta for doing the honors. I'll request Dr. S.P. Singh sir and Maya ma'am, Dr. S.P. Singh sir and Maya ma'am to present a memento to Bivash Ranjan sir, IFS. So this memento is a token of a love and gratitude from Amity University. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion, and ma'am for doing the honors. I'll now request Ms. Amita from Madhya Pradesh cadre to present a Tulsi sapling to our guest of honor, Dr. V.B. Mathur, former chairman, National Biodiversity Authority and Director, Wildlife Institute of India. I'll request Mr. Anil Kumar Patel from Uttar Pradesh cadre to present a shawl to our guest of honor, Dr. V.B. Mathur. And also request our faculty, esteemed faculty member Randeep sir, to present a memento to Dr. V.B. Mathur, sir. So this memento is a token of a love and gratitude from Amity University. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause for the entire inaugural session and for everybody's deliberations. And having said so, we all will move ahead for a group picture. Yes, a group picture later. And yes. So there will be high tea, but before that, we are having a vote of thanks by Dr. Lolita Pradhan, our faculty member.
Thank you, Sumitra ma'am. Good morning, all the dignitaries on the dais, distinguished participants, respected HOIs, coordinators, faculty members, and students. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of Amity School of Natural Resource and Sustainable Development for the inaugural session of the one-week compulsory trainings course on 3-day training workshop for Indian forest officers on prevention, control, and management of invasive species. Biological invasions are now recognized as a cause of significant ecological and economic damage. They have been characterized as among the most dangerous and least visible forms of environmental decline and second leading cause of biodiversity destruction. The threat to the biodiversity due to the forest invasive species can be considered second one only to the habitat destruction, which can damage and change the function of the ecosystem in multitude of ways. The 3 days training workshop has focused on all the important dimensions of prevention, control, and management of invasive species. And it's our privilege to organize this important issue in the training workshop. Amity University, number one, a non-for-profit university and leading research and innovation-driven private university, has achieved new heights of excellence only because of the vision, mission, and blessings of Honorable Founder President Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, who has always encouraged and inspired all the Amitians who has dreamt to make India a knowledge superpower. We are all grateful to you, sir, for your constant motivation and support. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Chancellor, Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan, for his exceptional dynamic leadership, guidance, and motivation. I would also like to take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks to Honorable VC Ma'am, Dr. Balvinder Shukla Ma'am, who has been our guiding light and a source of continuous inspiration. It is indeed a matter of immense gratification and honor to have with us our distinguished chief guest, Shri Vivas Ranjan Sir, Additional Director General of MOEF. We are grateful to you, sir, for not only sparing your valuable time to grace this occasion, but also for enlightening us with your commendable talk on the subject. Sir has highlighted on various important challenges and issues related to the invasive species management, and he has emphasized on the state-wise ecological assessment of the invasive species in its respective state. It's our honor to have with us Dr. V.B. Mathur, sir, former chairman, National Biodiversity Authority and Director, Wildlife Institute of India. We are grateful to you, sir, for your insightful and address on the topic. And we are fortunate to have with us the whole technical session on sir's deliberation. We are grateful to J.C. Kala, sir, former DGF and Secretary, Government of India, Honorary Advisory, AIGWES, for his continuous support and guidance for executing the workshop. Sir has also highlighted on various challenges of the invasive species management. I wish to convey my indebtedness to mentor and RES domain, Professor D.K. Bandopadhyay, sir, Chairman, Amity Law School, for his motivation and constant guidance for successful execution of the inaugural session of the training workshop. I would like also to thank torchbearer of this event, our respected director, sir, for SP Singh, sir, for leading and inspiring us in working towards the goal of conducting this inaugural session. The training workshop would not have been possible without the support and funding of MOEF. We are very grateful and indebted to the ministry for continuously entrusting us with the prestigious training workshop. I'm also very much indebted to all the eminent experts who will be given their deliberation throughout the 3 long days journey. I take the opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to the distinguished participants of the training workshop. Conducting this 5-day training workshop would not have been possible without the zealous efforts of the faculty members and staff of ASNRSD, AIGWES, AIFW, AIGRS, and the other faculty members of the NRES domain who have devoted a lot of time and energy for this event. I would also like to thank them for the sincere efforts and commitment. I would like to thank Dr. Sumitra ma'am for her support and beautifully coordinating the inaugural session. Above and beyond, I would also like to thank the IT team and ASCO team for their prompt support and assistance for conducting this training workshop. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now move ahead for a group photograph and then come back for high tea and then start with the first technical session. Thank you so much. In the words of our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, sir, goodbye and God bless everyone. Wish you all the best for the 3 days training workshop.